shop, it's probably $25 copay, $50. They go, yeah, it's $31,527 or 500 and something. I'm all, hold on a second.
Wow, we would have never believed this. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too. Lunch break. Hey, I'm here today with my friend Dave Sands. Dave, we've been doing ministry together for how many years?
Feels like...
it's over a decade, maybe 15?
I don't think that many
Maybe
yet.
a decade?
No, I think probably about 6, 7, somewhere
Well,
in
Cal
that.
State was 10.
Yeah, no, I was well after that, so probably about, feels like, man, COVID was a period of life that kind of time warped everything.
Was it life?
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe, feels like about 6 years, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we've
quite
been,
a while.
Yeah, we've been doing ministry. Him and his wonderful wife, Carrie, moved to Bakersfield and chose to attend the church. So we're here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, our subscriptions are going way up. Thank you for watching out on YouTube. Make sure you catch all of our episodes. We're going to be filming 3 shows today with Dave. We're going to do Lunch Break, Muscle Matters, and Ministry Matters. So you got to check them all out. So Dave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a few things wrong. And I don't have Mike here to mess me up. Mike always wants to correct me.
That's okay.
Well, I don't know why Mike, ever see Mike? He gets in Mr. Corrector mode. Should have been a teacher. If I asked Alex would probably tell us, our director and producer here today. But Mike always liked to correct me. But so you're a pharmaceutical sales rep.
Yep.
And you have quite the district that you have to attend to. And so you're on the road a lot.
Yeah, well,
But you have some beautiful places to go.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely blessed for the territory I have now. Yeah, I definitely have a good size. I go from about the 101 all the way up the coast. So I've got Camarillo, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and then the wine countries, and then over to Bakersfield. So
you can't complain.
No,
about
I can't complain. I usually do one night overnight on the beach, so I can't complain.
Well, I got to say this because Dave and I do Bible studies together. On Friday, we were in Starbucks, and Dave made an order, and they told him it'd be $5 or something. And he goes, "I want to use my stars."
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Really?" He showed the guy, and he had 5,900 stars.
Yeah.
I've never seen 5,900 stars.
He goes, "You don't have enough stars." I'm all, "No, sir, I do. I have enough stars."
So is that from going on, taking people out to Starbucks and getting
bringing coffees in. I don't even drink Starbucks anymore. If I do, I'll drink a tea once in a while, but normally it's just for the offices. So. Yeah, but the points just keep adding up, and
they do
probably because I don't use them that much. And
if you don't drink Starbucks,
I need to start drinking more Starbucks, I guess.
Especially with 5,900 points. If you need help doing that, we can help you, I'm sure. So we're here today. So as you have your pharmaceutical route, and you're living in Bakersfield, you got 2 wonderful daughters.
Yep.
And we've got a new son-in-law on the way. We'll dig into that soon. You got a wonderful wife, Carrie.
Yeah.
What brought the young Sands to Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Tell us about growing up. Go back to Laguna.
So I grew up in Laguna Hills and had a wonderful childhood. I had great parents and had an awesome time and had met my best friend Dan Clinton.
Dan's an amazing guy.
Yeah, and he's still with me right now and lives in Bakersfield. So him and his family, they're like family now. So, but I went through college and. I graduated in 1995 at Chapman University, and we looked at and I wanted to work for State Farm. My mom worked for State Farm. My aunt worked for State Farm. I wanted to work for State Farm. I wanted to do marketing for them. And
did you always know you wanted to be in some type of sales?
I wanted to do some kind of sales, but then I liked the allure of working at State Farm. I think just because I saw the history of it, and I
like their commercials.
Oh yeah. Good commercials. But I looked around Laguna. I said, hey, we're just newlyweds. We're probably only a year married, maybe a year and a half. And we started looking around Laguna, and the condos started at like $350,000.
That's in 1995, right?
Yeah. And we said, we can't afford it. My first job was going to start at $30,000 a year. I said, this isn't going to work. What are we going to do? And then State Farm said, well, we're opening this office in Bakersfield. And I'm all, oh my gosh, that's the armpit of California. I said,
even after you lived here, it is.
I said, I will not live. No, I love the place now, but growing up in Laguna to go to Bakersfield.
I don't think you could get a lot excited about leaving Laguna to come to Bakersfield.
Yeah, so we looked at, we came up, we looked at houses, and brand new houses started at like 90 or 95,000. We said, okay, we can make this.
That's a blessing of Bakersfield.
I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come here for a year or two. I said, and then we're going to make a little bit of equity, and we're coming right back home, right back to Laguna.
So you sold her.
Yeah, so, and she was too. She was.
I didn't mean that, Dave.
It was a cute little house, and so we came up here, and it was the craziest thing because like in Laguna, like even coming down when you come to your house, you'd open the garage, you'd pull your car in, you'd lower the garage. No neighbors talk to each other. You don't know your neighbors' names. You don't talk to your neighbors. It's very cold. You come to a four-way stop. You lower your head, you get there, and you go real fast. You beat the other guy. You come here, and it was the funniest thing. Carrie and I laughed for weeks. You come to a four-way stop, and somebody goes like this, and you're all, what the heck? What are they doing? They're all, no, it's your turn to go. And I'm all, what? This is crazy. I said, people are waving me on, and yeah, so it was, and then my neighbors. So you got to know your neighbors, and we'd have barbecues. I'm all, this is a cool place. I said,
family oriented.
It really is. It really is. I think there's a lot of bad stigma that people that don't live here talk about it, but I think it's a wonderful town. It's a great town.
You know, so it's interesting. How did you get Dan to move, or did you? Dan wasn't here first, right?
No. So
Dan's his best friend.
Yes.
From Laguna. And when you see Dan and Dave, you can tell that they're...
we look like brothers.
Yes, they do, except for the different colors.
Yeah, but still, we're close.
but I'm just saying, it's such a neat relationship to see you two.
Oh, yeah.
You are like brothers.
Yeah, and
different
it's funny.
mothers.
Yeah, here we are, I think. So now we started being friends in freshman year of high school, and we still talk to each other. We text each other throughout the day, to this day.
I love that. I envy that, actually.
It's fun. So he moved out to Kansas, and then they wanted to be closer to his family. Lived down in Laguna Hills still. They wanted to move back closer, so kind of the same kind of situation. He looked for a place that he could afford and get a nice house, and so he moved to Bakersfield, and then so that's how we've kind of stayed in touch. And
he still travels a lot.
He still travels good, not as much as he used to, but he still travels a good bit and works really hard, does really great at his job, and he's awesome what he does.
He does. It's neat that you guys were able to maintain friendship.
Yeah, we still, and plus we kind of follow each other on our different craziness. Like I started running, he started running, he started doing something, I started doing it. He played bass, I played bass, and then he started lifting weights a couple of years ago. And then I'm all, okay, then we'll talk about that in a different...
We'll talk about that in Muscle Matters, but it's a great story.
Yeah, but then now I'm doing that, so following him. So we just kind of go down the same rabbit hole most of the time. So it's pretty funny.
He's got a great family too.
Yes,
so
wonderful family.
So as you guys come out here, I mean, you know, as I know you, did the State Farm thing last long?
I worked there for about almost 5 years. It's a funny story. I worked there for almost 5 years. I was about a couple of weeks away. My problem with that was I was coming to work every day, and I would see, and I worked really hard, lowered my head and worked really hard, and I would once in a while see people that may not be working as hard, putting the same effort in, but maybe closer to retirement age and getting paid more. And I'm thinking, I go, man, I said, I want to do a job where I can work hard and get paid for what I do. And the more I work, the more money I can make to help my family and get ahead in life. And then one day I was in a small blues band, and one of the guys in the blues band was the State Farm doctor. And he comes up and he goes, hey, Dave, he goes, you want to get into sales, right? I'm all, yeah. He goes, there's a drug company looking for a new drug rep. And he goes, do you think you could do that? I'm all, heck yeah. I said, get me an interview.
I love you. That is Dave. I mean,
yeah.
Have you always been an optimist?
Always. I'm.
As a kid?
I think so. I just
as long as I've known you have.
Yeah, life's too short. Life's too short to worry about all the stuff on the outside. It's too hard to go down that path. I just refuse to. So he asked me, and I took the first interview and didn't get it, and I called the hiring manager. I said, hey, what did I do wrong? He goes, well, we were looking for 3 major things that you didn't do. You didn't do 1, 2, and 3. And I said, oh shoot. I said, well, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the opportunity. Please keep in your ideas in case you have another opportunity. And he calls me back a week later. Another hiring manager called me a week later and said, hey, we got a position, same territory. He said, you want to interview? I said, absolutely. So I go in there.
With the knowledge now.
Yeah, so now he goes, well, tell me about situation 1. Boom, knocked it out of the park. Situation 2, boom, knocked it out of the park. 3, boom.
You had the answers to the test.
Yeah, I knew the answers. So it was great. I got they called me a week later and got the job and started working and best move I ever made. I started in 2002, so a little over 20 years ago. So I love my job. I still wake up every day excited to go to work.
You do. I know.
It's
I've
a great
seen
job.
I've seen you do that. So as you and Carrie transverse life, she's always worked to help, or has she? I mean,
no. She's stayed home. We made a lot of sacrifices to live within our means and not take on any debt, but live really within our means so she could stay home and with our kids. So she stayed home all the way till probably my youngest, who's now a sophomore at Cal State Long Beach. So she stayed there until she was probably in like maybe a sophomore, junior in high school, and then went back to work. Yeah. So quite a sacrifice for all of us, but it's incredible the time the girls look back at some of the memories they have now.
What inspired you to do that? I know with your faith, you have your faith, but was it for the opportunity for her to be there when they were home?
Yeah. It was the one chance in life where, and this goes back to Bakersfield. If you lived, there were no single income families in Laguna. So we were at a town where one person with a mortgage of $900 a month back then could one parent could work and the other one could stay home, no matter which one it was. But this was a town where you could do that. And we were fortunate enough to buy our first little house, and we kept it for 2 or 3 years, and we bought a little bit bigger house, and then now we're in the house. This is the end house. I tell everybody when we talk about moving, I said the only thing coming out of this house in a box, I said, is me. I said, I'm done moving. I said, this is it. This is the forever house.
Well,
at least for now.
Yeah, you and I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I know. Well,
when God promotes desire, yeah.
Oh, and it's funny because we now look back and we started thinking now it's 2 of us in a bigger house than we need. We have 4 bedrooms and we have 2 of us there, so we don't need that big of a house. But anyways, we're blessed.
And you have animals?
Yeah, we've got a couple dogs and a cat, so it's good.
It's the fur babies.
Oh yeah.
And Dave and Carrie.
Yeah, they're good. No, yeah, they're great dogs. They're great dogs.
I love that. So as you and Carrie have kind of had this style of life, and I love the philosophy of paying things off and then getting others. You came to Valley Bible Fellowship. I remember that. Just randomly, I remember you guys. When you walked through the doors, I mean, it was you guys were friendly. Mm-hmm. You're handsome, young guy. She's pretty, young gal, and you guys were a couple that you couldn't forget. Nice. And so it was that. And I remember when you guys came through, and we had a relationship and kind of grew out of that. I always admired the fact that you guys you made it a priority.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with that?
No, my parents didn't go to church too often. Usually the Christmas and Easter, and it wasn't. They were wonderful humans.
Your dad's amazing.
Yeah, they're both great people. My dad comes every Sunday now.
Every Sunday, because he used to come when you played.
Yeah, well, I play every Sunday now.
Yeah,
so he's there usually front right.
He is.
And he watches every Sunday. So
he does.
He's a musician too. So that's his thing.
The drum.
Yep, he's a drummer. He's a fantastic drummer. I know. So he plays mostly jazz and stuff. But yeah, so that's what kind of was part of my passion and kind of got us to what I like to do.
So as you're working and the kids are going through school and you and Carrie are growing together, are you the only musical one in the family? Or did the kids pick it up? Or
both of them. Both of them went through their times. My oldest daughter, is an amazing singer, and she played guitar for a little bit, and she's still amazing singer. My youngest started playing saxophone at an early age. She started playing when she was in 4th grade, and the band doesn't start until 6th grade. And she was taking private lessons with Paul Perez, who's one of the most amazing saxophone players in the country. And she started taking lessons as a 4th grader, and then she started all the way through 4th grade, and she got done. And she was doing stuff that kids were doing in high school at that, and going into 5th grade. And I talked to the music teacher. And I said, hey, can my daughter audition for the band? They said, no, it's only for 6th graders. I said, please give her a shot. I said, please hear her out.
You'll like it.
Yeah, please hear her out. And sure enough, she took her to a little audition with the lady, and she got on the band, and then she was first chair in the band, and she stayed there the rest of her career. And she played all the way through high school, and then COVID hit, so she didn't get to finish her senior year playing music. So that was kind of the end of her saxophone time. And you never know. She may pick it up when she gets older. But,
we've talked about it. My daughter played drums until her high school year. Yeah. And she still says she won't, but she remembers it.
Yep.
I see her.
They may come back.
Yeah, they go through the rhythm. That kind of thing, so.
Oldest or youngest daughter? Which one?
Tessa. Yeah. She did that. Taylor never did. She's played sports. So Dave, as music was a part of your life, church was a part of your life. I've just got to get you to share this story with the audience, because it's one that it exemplifies, I think, your character, your faith in what God can do. But share with us a little bit when you got the phone call from the drug company that told you had a bill.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I definitely talk about that. So, and I'm getting fuzzy in the years with COVID, but it was like 2020, might have been 2019.
Yeah.
I think it was right before the pandemic. So I think it was 2019. We got a call one time. My wife takes this some of her medications, and we get them all through we're blessed to have a copay card like most people, and you rely on that copay card. They ship you the medication. Copay card takes care of it on the back end, and everything's all real happy. And then one day I get a phone call, and I'm on my way to San Luis Obispo, and they said, "Sir, you have a bill." And it was Express Scripts, and I go, okay. I go, what is it? I'm thinking, okay, I'll just pay it when I stop. It's probably $25 copay, $50. They go, yeah, it's $31,527 or 500 and something. I'm all, hold on a second. Pulled off the road. I parked. I go, it's what? And they said 31,500 and something. I go, not possible. I said, why? They said,
and you work in this industry.
Yeah, I go, how did this happen? They said, the last shipment that went out, 'cause she gets her shipments every 3 months. They said the last shipment went out. That one didn't get paid by the copay card. We just sent out the other one that you started taking, and that didn't get paid for. So that's the bill. I go, let me talk to your manager. And they said, no, that's not going to help. I'm all, so with this process went on.
I remember that. I remember as you came to the Bible study, it was always like, so where are we at?
Yeah. So they would get updates on Fridays. They'd say, okay, where are we at with this? Because we'd always pray at the very end of Bibles. I was praying every day, not just a Bible study. But we
were sharing the burden.
Whew, man, it was. We talked to everybody up the ladder we could, everyone down the ladder, and finally it got to about mid-November. And they said, your bill's going to collection in 1 week. And I'm all, at that time, now I'm calling like lawyers and stuff like that to like, how do I either fight this? And everybody said, you can't fight this. You're not going to fight Big Pharma. And I'm going, oh my God.
I work for Big Pharma.
Yeah, I said, I'm in that mix. So they said, and I said, well, and then now we're looking like, how do we pay for a $31,000 bill?
Yeah.
And they said, you can take a lien against your house. So now we started looking at equity lines and loans and stuff like that. And then it was going to happen on like a Monday. And I remember I was on my indoor bike, and I was riding my bike, and it was like 7 a.m. my wife comes out into the office, and she goes, "Hey," she goes, "you need to take this call." And I go, "Who is it?" By this time, we've had hours and hours and hours with these people on the phone. And I go, "Who is it?" And they said it's Express Scripts. I said I'll call them on Monday. I said I'm done talking. She goes, "No, you need to talk to him this time." And I said, oh, "Okay." So I put him on speakerphone. I wasn't going to stop my ride. I said, "I've already given up my life for this thing."
We're going to talk about that on Muscle Matters.
Yeah. So I said, "I'm just going to keep riding my bike." I said, and by that time I was kind of getting feisty. I'm all, "Hello." And I'm all the kindness was gone. I go, "What's going on?" They're all, "Oh, sir, we actually had an independent auditor look at it, and we found out that it was billed by mistake, and so you actually don't owe anything. You actually have a credit for $700." And we're all, and then by that time my legs start slowing down. I'm going, hold on a second. I get off the bike. I'm all, "What are you saying?" They said, "Yeah, somebody called from Amgen, the company I work for, and said they noticed a high bill, and they said they dug into it, and they wanted to find out how this thing was getting billed, and they found out they were coding it wrong. And they said, so they went back and they unwound the whole thing and then recoded it all the way back. And they said, we're actually going to send you a credit for $700. I'm all, oh my gosh. This was right before Thanksgiving.
I remember that.
Because I remember going to Thanksgiving, and that was the big thing. Because I prayed with the family, and that was the biggest thing. And I remember coming that Friday to the Bible study. I'm all, "You guys will never believe this."
Yeah, well,
I said there was some little angel that was in Amgen, and I know God put this person there. Like, they didn't have to go out of their way. They went out of their way to dig into this problem that had no impact on them, and to save a person that was me. I'm thinking, and at first I want to call him and thank him. I'm thinking, no, I'm gonna let this thing die. I'm gonna let this thing go.
Let's check. Wait
a second, we were wrong. I said, no, we're gonna let this thing just fade out. But yeah, that was, whew, man, that was. It was funny. 'Cause I remember after on that Friday going to Bible study and just driving down the street with the windows down, going, man, you hear birds chirping again, like the sun that you didn't see before. Everything's starting like more vibrant. Oh man. But one thing it did is it makes you think about how many people are going through like terrible things in life, and things that are earth-shattering, like either loss of loved ones or stuff like this, where they're facing a bankruptcy or some, not because they did something bad. I understand if you do something wrong and consequences. But if you're doing the right things and something happens, it's like there's so many people like that's happening to. And I think that's some of the reason that just having empathy for others and just loving on people. And I go into my offices and I think about this, and I see people, some of the medical staff sometimes that are kind of grumpy sometimes, and you think, you know what, like you can't judge them because there's probably something in their life that they're dealing with. Like, who knows what's going on with their kids or with their life or what's happening. I said, You just smile, and usually in a couple weeks or a couple next days they're doing better, and something's always going on. So it really is an eye-opening when you have either tragedy in your life or something where you're facing a bankruptcy or something like that.
Well, like you said, you're sitting there like trying to figure it out, but also realizing, wow, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
it's almost
that's the worst part.
It's almost a mix of emotions, and I think Dave, you and I always talk about how we're not guaranteed an easy road.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible never tells us that we've got an easy road.
Yeah.
We go through things, and as we go through things, as we give it over to God, like you and Carrie did, God moves back into your lives.
Yeah.
And they're blessings.
Yeah, and it's funny, we grew closer because of this, and it was interesting. We got to a point where we're thinking, you know what? And this comes from my buddy Dan Clinton. He goes, dude, it's just money. It's when it comes down to it, it's just money. He goes, take out a loan. It's just you didn't lose anybody. Like you have your health. It's just money. It's okay. And so every day I would kind of think about it. It's just money. It hurts. It stings. But you start thinking, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to let this consume my life.
So hearing Dan come back in like that, have you guys bounced things off each other like that in the past?
Yeah. Anytime, We always say
You guys have had kids,
Yeah.
during the same seasons of life.
Yeah.
There's had to be those moments.
Oh yeah. We've gone through good times with jobs and bad times with jobs, and it's neat to share like what life's given us, and yeah, we've had a lot of good times, and it's good to have somebody in your corner that'll also give it to you straight. Isn't going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah. Those are called good friends.
Absolutely.
Are there, and they say that they don't try to wound you.
Yeah.
They try to build you up. I remember we were all talking, because COVID was a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
Dave and I did a Starbucks Bible study. We did it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
The Starbucks closed down, so we just kept coming to the parking lot until it got to be 110.
Yeah.
In the summertime. And then we went to Zoom.
Yeah.
And I remember sometimes on there you would even say pray because, the industry's not sure where it's going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always remembered that it didn't shake you.
No.
It was like,
Yeah, in our industry, like you have to have thick skin, and we go through they call it a realignment. I call it a layoff, but they call it realignments now. It's a softer term.
Yeah.
So
it's more of an HR term.
Yeah. So we go through realignments like maybe once a year, and everybody just starts losing their mind, and it's you got to keep focused. And I always think like controlling the controllables. Like, what can I do to do my job the best?
Good note. Say it again.
Control the controllables. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in life you can only change certain things in life, and things that are outside. If they decide to get rid of me, they're going to get rid of me. And it's not because it's something I did. It's just like they look at the numbers, and they look at the territories, they line them up again, and they say, hey, I need you, and you. I don't need you. and it has nothing to do with anything. So, but all you can do is just go to work every day, give 110%, and let the chips fall as they come.
Well, I used to tell people when I was in the corporate world, and I agree with your philosophy because I heard it early on, when you worked hard and you wanted to be compensated for working hard because you saw others that didn't work hard. So that's the same work ethic you brought in. I used to tell everybody that I had to, unfortunately, lay off, that I didn't fire you. You fired yourself someplace along the line. Because if you're good employees, people try to work with that.
Yeah.
In my experience.
Yeah. Also, you get a good, in our industry, it's if you have a good name, if something, God forsaken, the company downsizes or gets bought out or whatever, you can always transition to another company because you have such a good name. Yes. You built your repertoire on your good name and being a good person, and
because you are selling yourself before you ever get in the door.
All the time.
There again, I mean, the doctors. I mean, I think you and I were talking one time. They get a lot of people coming in, slipping them cards. Wherever they go, because they're wanting to get their foot in the door. And there's a reason why they keep you around. Dave, just got a few minutes. Just have the last thought. Share with us the audience. Any last? The question I didn't ask you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mike, you can't give me a hard time. So what's something? What's something that maybe people who know you don't know about you? But no skeletons. No deep dark secrets. So
something that most people don't know is, and so I played music my whole life. My dad's always been a musician his whole life, so I grew up as a young person playing saxophone. And I had the opportunity. I got a call from my buddy who I was playing in a jazz quartet with. He called me up and he said, "Hey, there's a guy who wants us to do some recording for him." I go, "Oh, great." I go, "Let me see if I have time." He goes, "No." He goes, "It's the guy from the Righteous Brothers." He goes, "The Righteous Brothers want us to record something." And he goes, "Our horn section." I'm all right. I said, "This is pretty cool." Yeah, so we went down to Newport Beach to his house where he had a full recording studio and did some recording. Never made it to an album or anything, but it was kind of cool to know that you got called by the Righteous Brothers to do some recording. I guess I wasn't good enough to be on the album, but it was still an honor. But
well, it is an honor. It's like being called up from AAA to Major League.
Yeah.
It's like saying, "Hey, I swung the bat."
Yeah.
I love that day.
It was cool. It was a fun experience, and so that's something that most people don't know.
So we're going to talk more about that on Ministry Matters, because a lot of Dave's ministry, and ministry a lot of people think is just closed into the church. It's whatever you're doing to affect other people in the world, something you're giving to them.
Yep.
So we're going to come back on Ministry Matters and talk about that. And Dave kind of led into the fact that he is an athlete, he trains, He ran ultra marathons. So if you know anybody who runs 50 and 100 miles, I only know one, and that's Dave. That's it. So we're going to talk about on Muscle Matters. So one of the things I want to do, Dave, is thank you.
Yeah.
I always love the, there again, I remember when your dad first came in, and I greeted him at the door.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, is your first time with you? He goes, yeah. And I go, okay, well, there was this. And he goes, well, I'm here to see my son, Dave. I go, Dave who? He goes, Dave Sands. I go, oh, Dave. Yeah, he plays bass. Yeah. He goes, yeah, I'm his dad. I was like, it was cool.
Yeah.
And then I started noticing he always showed up when you played.
Yep.
And he recorded for the longest time.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the coolest moments because it was a dad and a son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it still give you chills when you see him record you?
No, I actually I don't see him. I don't see him ever record you, but I do appreciate that he comes out there. He's a real loyal person. He comes to anytime I had music in my life, he was always there, and I guess we'll get into that in the next podcast.
Ministry matters.
Yeah, but he's always been there for me.
I love that. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Hey, we're not on the air without you, so subscribe, like us, hey, share us. Dave, I want to thank you for coming on this show and the other ones. So you guys have a great day.